Quaid Azam, Part 154. Well, His Highness Aga Khan was the elected leader of the Muslim delegation, and his office and headquarters was at Ritz Hotel in London. The first plenary session of this conference began with a formal inauguration in the House of Lords, presided over by His Majesty King George V. The Aga Khan was subsequently elected as the chairman of the British Indian section of the Congress, that is, of all the Indian representatives except the princes. The conference, moving thereafter to St. James' Palace, settled down to its task. The major parties at the conference had arrived with defined, settled ideas and solutions. They had their representative claims to put across, after which efforts at the reconciliation of positions were to be attempted here. In the process, the British would obviously be presented with a series of contradictory claims and counterclaims. Therefore, a united front was obvious priority at the first step. In that direction was by finding a way of bridging the gulf between the Muslims and Hindu sections of British India delegation. Only when that had been achieved, it was reason, could one offer to the British representatives a conjoint proposal for the constitutional reforms. Preeminent among those whose effort was devoted towards achieving this was then Nawab Sahib of Bhopal. He and the Aga Khan conceptualized independent India as a federal state in which authority and power remained with the central government, the constituents having autonomous rights and functions. Sir Chimanlal Setalwad was a participant in his book Recollections and Reflections, has recorded, after we reached London well in advance for the Round Table Conference, it was arranged that some representatives of Hindus and Muslims should meet to consider the question of communal settlement. Sapru, Sastri, myself, Jayakar, Munchi, and Ambedkar were deputed for this meeting, and the Aga Khan, Jinnah, and one other gentleman represented the Muslims. When we first met, I put the question to Aga Khan whether if we arrived at a satisfactory settlement on other points, he would agree to the joint electorates. He said, if you satisfy our demands on all other matters, we would agree to the joint electorates with reservations of seats for Muslims. I put a further question: if we come to a settlement on all the matters including joint electorates, will Muslim delegates support the national demand at the conference? His answer was characteristics. He said, in that event, you lead and we follow. Sir Chimanlal then states that along with Sapru, Sastri, they would have agreed immediately to the demands, but they were seriously disappointed in the attitude of Jayakar and Munji. He laments that a great opportunity was thus lost. The Aga Khan too, in his memoirs, refers to these discussions as follows. In his memoirs, Sir Chimanlal Setalwad has referred to these offers of mine, and his evidence at least stands firmly on record that if the first Round Table Conference did not achieve all that was expected of it, and if ultimately not only was dominion status not brought about, India had to be partitioned. Some at least of beginnings of these momentous happenings are to be found in the Hindu delegation's refusal to accept my offer.